Oh, I almost forgot to turn my mic on. How are we doing today? Hi. Yes, that's me, Dawg Knight. I am kind of flying by the seat of my pants today, but I'll get through it because I do have some stuff ready. I really do. But, wow, that's a weird shine off this shirt. Kind of a weird reflection. Okay, probably gets down to 9. I'm going to have to start setting up my studio lights again. Anyway, we're going to have a good show today. Get ready. Here's the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. All right, stop the music, but start the music. Because I'm going to remember right from the beginning to have a little funk going the whole day. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Marty, a.k.a. Dawg Knight. I was over watching Monkey in the Morning, and then I realized, I have my own show to do, so I should probably throw something together. But actually, I was a little bit prepared. Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here on the 10th of September, 2019. What is it? I was gonna say 3 more months till Christmas. What's funny? I go out in the stores a lot. And usually this time of year, you see a bunch of stuff out for Halloween. And they seem to be a little late this year, which is fine. I don't care because we don't decorate for Halloween or not. But it is almost the middle of September. And also the other weird thing is, I'm here in the Twin Cities, which is probably north of most of where you live. Maybe not. But we already have leaves changing. And I thought, now that is really strange. I saw a couple trees with leaves changing, and it's not even cold yet. I mean, it's supposed to get up to 80 degrees today. And I found out, this is an interesting tidbit, we've had so much rain in the Twin Cities that apparently the leaves here are changing even faster than they are way up in northern Minnesota. Now, have you ever been to like northern Minnesota or Maine or northern Wisconsin or northern Michigan, anything like that, when the leaves are changing? It's such a beautiful time of the year, but I just thought it was weird that here, more in southern Minnesota, where I live, there's already leaves changing here, and I found out that this past weekend there's none changing up north. So that was just a weird little tidbit there. Hey, let's say hi to everybody. Good morning, Shia Graff, who gets the bell for being here first. Good morning, Diesel Dave, the gayest person on YouTube, who I just followed on Twitter. And it just said like gay. Everything was gay. Hey, that's cool. Or did I follow you or did you follow me? I better click that button. I meant to follow you. Anyway, also Max Del Rio. Good morning, Maddie. And Maddie, thank you for being the first person to tweet out the show today. If y'all would like to do that and help me out a little bit, you can hit the share button right down there and tweet out the show. Also, good morning, Sarah. C. Thomas, hey buddy, how you doing, my man? Boomer morning, yeah, And good morning, Duck Dog, and I think that's everyone in the chat. And I've probably got a few I got a few more people lurking. That's cool. Lurk away. I hope if you're watching or listening at work or listening on the while you're driving or something, don't try to type anything while you're doing that. Oh, good morning, Rolling Bear also. Okay. So those are the people in the chat, and also good morning to everybody else. So the title of the title of the stream today may be a little clickbaity. I even wrote that in the description. Whirlwind and hot air. The whirlwind is, let me find that. The whirlwind is the president has. Oh, I didn't even put it on here. Let's hold on. I had it right here. The whirlwind is President Trump holding another rally. He had one in North Carolina, apparently for a congressional candidate there. Live updates. This must have been from last night. So listen, I think it's fascinating that the president really is using You did get a bell ding. There you go, Sheograth. Or you get a second bell ding. The president seems to take a play out of the Obama playbook, because I always thought it was weird that President Obama used to go out and hold rallies all the time. And, he'd get great crowds and whatnot. It was, kind of a cult personality thing. And the current president does the same thing. And it is another cult personality thing. Now, I try to just watch what he does and appreciate the things that he does that I like. And then some of the things that he does that I don't like, I'll say whatever. But it's fascinating how he can fill these arenas, 10, 12,000 people, have people waiting outside, and things like that. So I found this fascinating. So anyway, Breitbart covered this rally. So we'll just go through the live updates they did. First of all, President Donald Trump says this is when he will hold a rally, Monday evening rally in North Carolina, day before Tuesday's special election between Republican Dan Bishop and Democrat Dan McCready in the state's 9th congressional district. The race is being watched closely for signs about how white suburban voters view Trump, Republicans, and the Trump presidency. Okay. I guess how do Americans see it? And so this will be interesting. Stay tuned for Breitbart News for live updates of the rally. So here we go. So this is, they got a pretty detailed lineup here. Let's see. They go 6:45. It's going in backwards order. Well, let's go in the order it was. We'll go backwards here. Or actually, backwards the way the article's written. So it's 6:45 p.m. Another packed crowd in North Carolina. Some Trump supporters waited in line for 48 hours. Wow. I don't get it. And they used to do that for Obama, too. And for me, I'm never going to be that invested in the person. If I would love to go to a Trump rally, don't get me wrong, and I would have probably enjoyed going to an Obama rally, don't get me wrong, just for the spectacle and the I don't know even what the word for it is, just to watch people worship that person in some ways. Although it's also fun to see who comes to protest too. I might stand outside a Trump rally just to interview protesters and see why they're protesting and see if they even know why they're protesting, because and not just Orange Man bad. So anyway, so at 6:55, Vice President Mike Pence is on stage getting ready to introduce Trump. He says they're here because North Carolina needs Dan Bishop in Congress. He's the right Dan, because there's two Dans running. Pence also says that the other Dan supports Nancy Pelosi and sanctuary counties. Okay, whatever there. Trump gets on stage at 7:10. Then he praises Franklin Graham's Samaritan Purse organization for their humanitarian work. Franklin Graham's in a little bit of trouble right now. There's something going on with Franklin Graham. I can't remember what the controversy is, but it's interesting that he brought up Franklin Graham. And he's here to discuss the extraordinary progress of the country and how to ensure it keeps going strong. Trump says this big, beautiful ship is being turned around. Later he says the media and their partner, the Democrats, tried the Russia thing and failed. And he talks about the women in the crowd who look rich as hell. Let's see. Trump says more Americans are working today than ever before under his presidency. Brags about 13 straight months of wage gains. And that's something that I think, he's going to be running on the economy. And I don't, even though the news media and the Democrats, I know I'm being redundant, but the news media and the Democrats are probably going to, keep trying to throw that recession word out there. But you know what? Again, this is the first time for a long time where we've seen significant increases in wages. And that's not because they had to change the minimum wage, is it? It just happens because the market tightens when you have more employment. When everyone's working, you got to have some kind of incentive to have you come work for me, right? If I can't fill my employees, the number of employees I need, well, I might have to pay a little more to compete with the guy over there. So we'll see how that goes. Crowd chants 4 more years, record low unemployment for African Americans, unemployment numbers for women is best in 72 years. Democrats, not big believers in religion. Well, a lot of people aren't. Trump says Democrats will demolish and destroy everything that you've gained, and they will do it very quickly. He compares his movement to a plant that needs more roots. He again warns that Democrats will try to take it away. And it's weird because if the economy is going well, that's a great sell if you're trying to remain president. And so that's going to be his thing. Let's see what else. It says North Carolina is a big Second Amendment state. Bishop will protect the Second Amendment. The opponent will not. Also says the election is about sanctuary cities that McCready supports. And that's the other thing. I don't think. In fact, we know that from polling, most Americans are not too keen on the idea of sanctuary cities. Now, that doesn't mean they all agree on the entire immigration debate, but even people who don't care about whether or not illegal immigrants are coming in aren't thrilled about the idea of sanctuary cities. All right, then let's see. What else did he say? Bishop. Bishop. Let's see. Okay, Trump. Oh, I see. Here we go. Then Trump says support for sanctuary cities is disloyal to American citizens. He says North Carolina should vote against the America-hating left. Trump says it will be easier for him to get money for the border wall if Republicans flip the House. Okay, and then Bishop comes on and says, we're not tired of winning. We want to keep on winning. He says the Socialist Democratic Party seeks the president's destruction every day. That's true. They want him out, and I think, like I said this the other day, or was it yesterday, that they're going to try to. The reason they're not doing impeachment now, and they're going, I have a feeling they're going to, but they're going to time it to interfere with the election as much as possible. That's why they're waiting, and so. This is, I think Nancy Pelosi's strategy is to hold off Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff until they're in the heat of election season. It seems like dirty pool, but no one said politics is pretty, did they? All right. Then Bishop says the last thing Trump needs in Washington is another Nancy Pelosi clone. Trump now introduces Republican Greg Murphy, who says Democrats want to destroy the nuclear family. Let's see. Establishment Democrats? The fringe of the left, yes. Clear, absolutely. I don't know if the establishment Democrats do, but the establishment Democrats are still, right now you've got, especially in Bernie Sanders, especially in Elizabeth Warren, you have Democrats that are just promising that the government's going to give you everything. That's frightening. That is frightening to me. And the only time you can start talking about socialism is when capitalism's already made you a wealthy country. But it doesn't mean it's going to improve anything. It's always going to make things worse. It's always going to create a government that is in control of everything, and you don't want that. And it's never worked. But I digress. Let's see, what else did he say? I'm going to skip up here. They talked about China. They talked about. Trump says politicians before him sold out American interests in manufacturing base, and American allies were the ones who took advantage of America. Trump says China's targeting America's patriot farmers because China knows farmers love Trump. Yeah, there's probably a mixed bag on whether farmers love Trump, but I think they understand what he's trying to do. And the fact that he made a deal with Japan, especially in the midst of this whole China tariff thing, that at least is going to get a lot of our grains sold that they were worried that would not be able to get sold to China. That's a good deal. Let's see. What else? Sleepy Joe. Trump says none of the Democrats, quote, Sleepy Joe, end quote, or, quote, Pocahontas, end quote. I wish he'd stop saying Pocahontas. She's not Pocahontas. She is Faux with an F. Pocahontas. F-A-U-X, as in fake. Fakeahontas. We call her Fakeahontas. That would even be better so people would understand it. Fakeahontas. Stop calling her Pocahontas. It says neither of them will do anything about China. He brags how he withdrew the USA from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Which it's funny because a lot of the Democrats were against the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. But then Trump was against it, so now they're like, you can't give Trump credit for anything, So that's fascinating. Trump promises 500 miles of border wall by the end of next year. They have been putting up border wall. I think it's still under 100 miles of new wall. They've been replacing wall, and people who are against that maybe just don't get it. You gotta have to. Sheograph Poe, P-O-E contest. That's funny. Okay, that's hilarious. Okay, then Trump praises ICE. What else do you do here? Anything else I want to really... crowd prefers Made in USA over Made in America as Trump tests out more lines. Okay. Trump says a vote for any Democrat is a vote for the rise in socialism. You know what? I think that's going to be the campaign. And I think even when talking, someone was telling me they were talking to a young friend of theirs. And I'm, I'm not a Trump cheerleader. It's not my thing. I appreciate what he's doing in some ways. And I'll criticize him when he needs it. But this one of my really pro-Trump friends said he was talking to his kid who's in his 20s, and he said, "Well, you either can vote for Trump or you can vote for socialism." And that stopped his kid in his track, because he's not one of those kids who are the big socialist kids coming out of college. The kid works and whatever. He's in his late 20s, has a business, whatnot. And that was like, oh man, you're kind of right. That made him stop in his track. I think that could be an effective thing for Trump. Who knows? Anyway, then he's talking about, oh my gosh, wanting extra. Trump again jokes about wanting an extra term after talking about the World Cup. He says the media will rip him as a dictator. Tom says Tom Brady had a great game and praises Coach Belichick. No mention of Mac Brown. Opportunity missed. Okay, so he had his rally and concludes a pretty standard rally. But it's amazing. I still think it's pretty amazing how he fills the crowds in those things. All right. And then I have a second one here. Where's the second Trump article here? Oh, I will come back to that one. Now the other part of this article, so the Whirlwind was kind of a play on words because they just had a hurricane go through the Carolinas, and President Trump's gone through the Carolinas, and that's my Whirlwind. Now here is my hot air. This is a website I don't go to as often. I used to love the hot air website, especially it came out. Plus, Ed Morrissey doesn't live that far from me. He used to live right down the street from me. But he moved anyway, but from hot air. But this is interesting. So you've heard the thing that people like to say that after Trump rallies, hate crimes rise in those cities an average of 235%. And that's kind of one of those tropes you hear all the time. Well, every time Trump has a rally, the hate crimes go up. Because they're trying to tie Trump to hate crimes, which, if you know how the real analysis works, there's been no rise in hate crimes during the Trump era. Now, there have been more reporting agencies. We've talked about that. The way that hate crimes are reported, there's over 1,000 new agencies joining the FBI program that hasn't been around that long. And so, yeah, there has been a 15% increase in reported hate crimes, but that's only reported. Meaning, there's been at least almost a 15% increase in the number of agencies that report hate crimes, and again, reported. That says nothing about fake hate crimes. But anyway, well, here's an interesting analysis from John Sexton at Hot Air. Trump rallies did not lead to an increase in hate crimes. Oh, that's interesting. Let's check out this article. So, back in March, the Washington Post published a piece by 3 Texas A&M professors who had produced a paper titled "The Trump Effect: How 2016 Campaign Rallies Explain Spikes in Hate." Now, this is silly because the most of the crimes reported were people who came to rally for Trump getting beat up by, you get it, you got it, the Antifas. Antifa! Oh, wait. Antifa! Anyway, the paper, which hadn't been published or peer-reviewed, it's funny because, yeah, they published this paper that was not published anywhere, and it was not peer-reviewed, claimed there was a 226% jump in hate crimes in counties that hosted a Trump rally. The Post story made the rounds. It was discussed on Fox, the San Francisco Chronicle, CNN, and by politicians. And you still hear politicians talking this BS. Here's a Bernie Sanders meme published just last month based on the story. Let's see this. Let's check this out. So here's the, here it is. Mr. President, stop your racist, hateful, and anti-immigrant rhetoric. Your language creates a climate which emboldens violence and extremists. Yeah. And so here's the Bernie. Yeah. The left doesn't know how to meme. But anyway, so that's, so that's, they're using it. And then also, last month, Ilhan Omar used the same claim to attack Trump on Twitter. Here she wrote, counties that hosted a 2016 Trump rally saw a 226% increase in hate crimes. Assaults increased when cities host Trump rallies. Yes, assaults increased because they were assaulting Trump supporters. All right. Your rhetoric is directly and indirectly inciting hate, Mr. President. Well, that's a pile of crap. And looks like she linked this fake-ass study. Yeah, so there you go. But hold on, before I go on, let me see what I got the bell ringing for here. I have a super chat from C. Thomas. Thank you, sir. $2. I'll say this, even though I'm overall neutral toward Trump, by the way, he has conducted himself in the office and his childishly contrarian opposition. Oh, I see. I see. I'll start over. I'll say this, even though I'm overall neutral towards Trump by the way he has conducted himself in the office and his childishly contrarian opposition, I'd say he should get 4 more years, then have someone like him take his place, because fuck the left. There you go. Some eloquence from my good buddy, Corbin C. Thomas. Thank you, sir, for the $2 super chat. If you'd like to have super chats read, the link is in the description down below. Thank you, sir, because I do not have YouTube super chats. All right. What the hell was that? Okay. Anyway, last reason. By last Friday, Reason, the website, the super chat link is in the chat now. Also, thank you, Sarah. But last Friday, Reason published a piece by 2 Harvard PhD students who took a look at the claims made in the original paper. After replicating the paper's results, they found the conclusions were based on a mistake. Using the same data and statistical procedures as Feinberg et al., we replicated their study's headline result. Since we did not have access to the original paper's data and code, this involved collecting each of the variables mentioned in the original paper and then independently performing the same analysis. Using additional data we collected, we also analyzed the effect of Hillary Clinton's campaign rallies using the identical statistical framework. The ostensible finding: Clinton rallies contribute to an even greater increase in hate incidents than Trump rallies. Both of these results rely on comparing counties with rallies to other counties without them. This produces a glaring problem. Politicians tend to hold political rallies near where large numbers of people live and in places with more people. The raw number of crimes is generally mechanically higher. Simply put, no one should be surprised that Orange County, California, population 3.19 million, was home to both more reported hate incidents and Trump rallies than Orange County, Indiana, population 19,840, which had 0 of each. So, after controlling for this, the estimated effect of Trump rallies on reported hate incidents to become statistically indistinguishable from 0. In other words, Trump rallies weren't inspiring hate crimes, and Hillary's weren't either. The authors go on to speculate about how the original paper could have circulated so widely despite the fact it hadn't been peer-reviewed. It was never published, never peer-reviewed, but oh my goodness, did they get that out into the news, and everyone's using it now. They conclude the problem likely had to do with media bias. Oh, no, say it's not so. Say it couldn't be media bias. Never, ever could happen. Holy shit. Anyway, like academics, journalists as a profession are overwhelmingly liberal. Oh, come on. No, they're not. Come on. Are they? Is that true? With 4 times as many reporters identifying as Democrats than as Republicans. Given how little scrutiny was required to reveal the flaws in the thesis that Trump rallies cause hate incidents, one cannot help but wonder whether its viral status was aided by journalists predisposed to believe its message. Would a study claiming Clinton rallies caused hate crimes to increase by 226% have been seized on equally enthusiastically? We are skeptical. Now I'm gonna link that. Here's the Reason article. Oh wait, no, this is the actual paper. Trump Effect, How 2016. Okay, this is the original article. Please do not cite without explicit permission from the authors. Oh, that's interesting. So that's even more fascinating. So this article, please do not cite without explicit permission of the authors. This is a paper that's never been published. Okay. Wow, I'm going to save that and I'm going to save that for later. I might read that. Okay. Actually, I want the Reason article, though, which is... Let's find it here. Here we go. And I'll pop this one out in the chat. This is the Reason article that Hot Air took this from. If you want to read that, it's in the chat. All right. Interesting. No, Trump rallies didn't increase hate crimes by 226%. In fact, they didn't have any detectable impact at all. So fascinating. To a couple of Harvard students basically told these people to take a hike. Didn't happen. All right. Oh, bye, Sarah. Have a lovely day. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday. All right. So that's my first hot air article. I also have another one. Here's an interesting one. Now, it's now incendiary to say there are two genders. If you've been on the internet at all, Jazz, this is by Jazz Shaw. I follow him on Twitter. Well, welcome to the world, Jazz. Because if you spend any time on Twitter or on YouTube, you already know this. Republican Congressman Ralph Abraham of Louisiana is running for governor in his state, and his team recently released their first television ad. If Abraham was looking to get the left up in arms, he certainly succeeded. Take a look at the ad embedded in the tweet below and see if you can guess which of the truths he's promising to speak has liberals setting their hair on fire. Well, to the greatest extent, however. Now, where's I don't see the tweet. I wonder if it's been deleted. Okay, anyway. If you guessed it, it was the last one saying that there are only two genders. Give yourself a cookie. Of course, as a medical doctor, Abraham probably knows a thing or two about the subject. Here's the full list. And here it is. Quote, "Here's the truth. Life begins at conception. Government is too big. Our taxes are too high. And our car insurance is too expensive. President Trump is doing a great job. Facts matter more than feelings. The Second Amendment is self-explanatory. And as a doctor, I can assure you there are only two genders." Whew, and as you might expect, this prompted immediate action. The claim wasn't going over well at MSNBC. This is according to the Red State article. MSNBC anchor Chris Jansing addressed this topic during a panel discussion about the GOP's relationship with women and the LGBT community. Specifically, a national LGBT group, the Log Cabin Republicans, had just endorsed Trump for a second term. An indignant Jansing told viewers she found Abraham's remarks to be incendiary. Here's what she had to say. Well, let's click on this and see if we can watch the video instead. Okay, here's the Red State. Let's see if the video is in. All right, here's the video. In fact, I'm going to pause. Well, no, we'll see if we can hear it. We should be able to hear it. Oh, hang on.
To be a mainstream. We've got an important question now. What does it mean to be a mainstream Republican? It is the question that some Republicans have been asking in the age of Donald Trump, and increasingly, it seems the answer might be to make incendiary comments about women and members of the LGBTQ community. Just yesterday, former Minnesota Representative Jason Lewis, who in 2012 lamented that men can no longer call women sluts, announced that he is challenging Senator Tina Smith for her seat next year. 8 years ago. And in Louisiana, the Republican candidate for governor, Ralph Abraham, is out with a new TV ad this week, making incendiary comments about gender.
Incendiary comments about gender? Is that so incendiary, or is it just a difference of opinion? Holy shit. Anyway.
As a doctor, I can assure you there are only two genders.
Joining me now, Jennifer Horn, former New Hampshire GOP chairwoman who just resigned from the Log Cabin Republicans.
Okay, anyway, they didn't do the rest of the article, but yeah, calling that's incendiary. Oh my goodness. That's amazing. That's amazing. Sound like, what's that dude's name? What's the dude that guys? He always says he interviews people. He always says that's amazing. Oh, Jesse Lee Peterson. That dude cracks me up. I'm only a fan because he's funny to watch. I'm not necessarily a fan. I think sometimes I think Jesse just I don't know. Well, let's not talk about Jesse Lee Peterson. Anyway, last week we discussed the embarrassing. Oh, wrong one. I'm sorry. So apparently it's now simply gospel at MSNBC to say that a medical doctor stating the human race is composed of two genders by design is incendiary rhetoric. Of course, for the entire history of the human race, there have been two genders, with the thankfully rare exceptions of intersex people born with anomalous chromosomal structures. It's how we reproduce. It's not really rocket science. It's funny because now they want to say that gender and sex are different things. But now you even have people saying, well, there's not even only two sexes. Well, and I guess my answer to that, I don't really care. Gender as a term that's been completely bastardized, and so they've changed the meaning of gender even from the beginning. That the first person who used the term wasn't referencing people or humans or animals. They were referencing inanimate objects which were being given a gender. So when you'd say that ship, she's really beautiful, or here, my gun, he's got a nice pistol grip, whatever. That's gendering inanimate objects, and then they started, kind of bringing that to humans and saying, oh well, you know what? There's more than two genders, So there's gender becomes a spectrum and all that, but the whole gender thing is based on, at least as far as the animal kingdom, bimorphic species. It's our language for gender has always been based on sex. The physiological sex of a human, and sex has always been a physiological thing, meaning a humans born without birth defects come in one of the two sexes for a reproductive purpose. And that's throughout the animal kingdom. Okay, there are male and female that reproduce. Now there are certain organisms in the animal kingdom and plant kingdom, whatever, that have different categories. But we're not talking about those. We're talking about humans which are mammals, and every mammal in the animal kingdom reproduces by dimorphism. There are males and females, and they have to do an action in order to reproduce. Granted, there are people who have birth defects, okay, and some people even get offended by saying it's a birth defect. But birth anomalies, where they may have, ambiguous genitalia, or, certain traits, physiological traits of more of one or the other, have an extra chromosome here, doesn't make them a new sex. It just makes them someone with a birth defect or birth anomaly. Okay? There's still two sexes. Okay? And then there's an anomaly. It's just like, you don't say that a person with Down syndrome, someone who has an extra chromosome, is a different kind of human. No, they're just a human with one of those anomalies. So anyway, gender was originally always based on the two physiological sexes. Now, people have decided to make that a social construct. Oh, it's a social construct. You could be whatever you want because language is a social construct. Okay. If you want to, go there, that's up to you. But it doesn't mean there's more than two sexes. Anyway, I know I'm preaching to the choir on this channel. But it's just fascinating. So anyway, now it's incendiary to say there are two genders. I'm going to guess, though, that there's still a vast majority of people, who don't spend a lot of time online and don't spend any time on Tumblr and don't spend any time in the universities, who are just like, what do you mean there's more than two genders? Huh? What the hell are you talking about? You weirdos. They want to play around with the language, whatever. I don't care. I'm not interested to argue with people, and I'm not interested, I want to be respectful of people, but it's hard. Anyway, thank you, C. Thomas. Another $2 super chat via the Streamlabs link in the description down below. Oy vey. Remember, Goyam's like autism, gender, sex. Goyam's like autism, gender/sex is a spectrum, and we're all autistic by this metric. And if you refuse that fact, facts don't care about your feelings, and you're a bigot. Checkmate, my non-progressive Goyams. #fact. That's pretty much how it is. if you disagree with them, you're a bigot. You know, these are the new facts that, you know, yeah, like autism. Yeah. So that's a good point. You know, and of course, some people will tell me it's not a good point. But if gender's a spectrum, then everybody's everything. If autism's a spectrum, everyone has autism. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. All right. Good morning, Lindsay. How you doing? Also, by the way, I haven't said, there's a couple people, let me catch up with people who've shown up since I started. I've got you. Okay. Let's see. RVA Dar, Pirate Pete, MC, Hammer Time is here. Cynical Lindsay. Hi, you guys. Good to see you here. I missed somebody. I saw them earlier and it was in the middle of a sentence and then I forgot to go back. Whatever. Oh, and back Aliyah Watha. That's funny. That's from back to the other thing. So anyway, yeah, that candidate's gonna get some flack for that. But you know what? He's running for governor of Louisiana. I'm gonna guess it's not gonna hurt him too much. Anyway, and like I said, I'm sticking with the hot air theme here and the hot air articles. I got one more hot air article that was a little bit surprising to me. You know, the other day I was telling you that the city of San Francisco, the board voted to label the NRA as a terrorist organization. Now, when I read the resolution that they had, there were some major problems with it. One of them being they described them as incentivizing violence, which they absolutely do not. Well, the NRA is fighting back, and they're suing the city of San Francisco. Last week, we discussed the embarrassing decision by the San Francisco City Council to label the National Rifle Association a domestic terrorist organization. While that was bad enough to start with, they went several steps further, declaring that they would limit business interactions with the NRA and its supporters. This is clearly a bridge too far for the NRA. They initially released a statement calling this action a reckless assault on law-abiding organizations, its members, and the freedoms they all stand for. But they aren't stopping there. The case may be heading to court, according to the Washington Times. The National Rifle Association sued San Francisco on Monday over the city's recent declaration that the gun rights lobby is a domestic terrorist organization. The lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California accuses city officials of violating the gun lobby's free speech rights for political reasons and says the city is seeking to blacklist anyone associated with the NRA. It asked the court to step in to instruct elected officials that freedom of speech means you cannot silence or punish those with whom you disagree. Sounds like the NRA has a pretty solid case here. If the city had only passed some sort of non-binding resolution calling the group a domestic terrorist organization, they might have gotten away with it. The best they could probably do in that case would be to accuse the city of slander or something along those lines. They could, because they, especially the part where they say the NRA encourages, or what was the word? I think they said something like encourages violence, and they would have to be able to prove that the NRA encourages and approves of some of these shooting things, because they wrote it right in the resolution. I wish I could. I'll have to bring up that resolution. There are many problematic. Oh my God! I just said problematic. Oh God! Don't say that. Oh, I forgot my tunes. Let's get back and I gotta keep the font going here. There we go. It's back. There we go. And hi, Tyler F. and hi, Seamus Derby. But when the city elders decided to declare they would limit business with the NRA and its supporters, they definitely crossed the line. When it comes to the awarding of contracts to do business with the city, every qualified entity or individual has to be given fair opportunity to compete. I somehow doubt that the NRA is doing much municipal business with the city unless they're offering firearm safety instruction there, but they certainly have members in the region who might be. So here, maybe they'll have this in the article. Here's that resolution. Okay, so here it is. By unanimous vote, San Francisco Board of Supervisors. Oh, they didn't put it in here. Oh, here we go. I can't find it. Well, shoot. All right, let's try this one. I want to see the exact resolution.
Good morning. I'm Kenny Choi from the KPIX5 newsroom.
Whoa. Sorry, Kenny Choi, but I don't want to hear your voice yet. Okay, here it is. The NRA. Here's the part of the resolution. Quote. Oh, here. Let's just pull out the PDF. This might be better. How long is this? Oh, it's quite long, but we're gonna read. Let's go through this whole thing. This will be interesting. Declaring the National Rifle Association as a domestic terrorist organization. Resolution declaring that the National Rifle Association is a domestic terrorist organization and urging other cities, states, and the federal government to do the same. Whereas the United States is plagued by an epidemic of gun violence, including over 36,000 deaths and 100,000 injuries each year. Oh. 2/3 of which are suicides. Whereas every day approximately 100 Americans are killed with guns. Every day 500 Americans are killed in auto accidents. Whereas there's been more than one mass shooting per day in the United States in 2019. Oh my God. We've been through that one so many times. That number always changes when you change the definition of mass shootings. Also, a vast majority of those are crimes, right? Okay, so let's. How do we? They're going to try to maximize the NRA's role in this. Whereas the gun homicide rate in the United States is 25 times higher than any other high-income country in the world, and they mention. Oh, this is great. So then they mention Whereas on July 28th, 2019, Gilroy, California became the 243rd community in the United States to be the victim of a mass shooting. Really? How do you 243rd since when? Whereas Stephen Romero, age 6, Kayla Salazar, age 13, and Trevor Irby, age 25, were murdered in the senseless act of gun violence that day. Okay. Whereas there have been at least 3 mass shootings since the events in Gilroy, and the number continues to grow. I would love to see a all right, let me go on. Whereas reported hate crimes have increased by double digits since 2015. Oh. Listen to the wording. Whereas reported hate crimes have increased by double digits since 2015. Can anyone tell me what that means? So when you say increase by double digits each year since 2015 by percentage, by what? Now we know that the FBI has explained in their report why you can't say that they've actually increased versus there may be a higher reporting number due to the increase in the number of agencies reporting hate crimes. And also, that program began, I think, in 2012. What does that mean? Whereas there are over 393 million guns in the United States, which exceeds the current total population. Irrelevant. Whereas our elected representatives, including the president, have taken an oath swearing to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Ooh, what's the key line in that sentence? Support and defend the Constitution. What's in the Constitution again? I'm not even sure what the Constitution says. I need to sip. Whereas the United States Declaration of Independence declared that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are unalienable rights. You know damn well that this government of San Francisco could care less about the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence unless they're trying to create a brownie point system. Holy shit. Whereas the United States Constitution specifically delineates that the country was founded to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, and promote the general welfare, and whereas the United States Department of Justice defines terrorist activity in part as the use of any, and then they have an ellipsis here because they don't read the whole thing, explosive firearm or other weapon or dangerous device with the intent to endanger directly or indirectly the safety of one or more individuals or cause substantial damage to property. Now that's funny. What do they, you know what they leave out here? They leave out the for political aim part, and even some of these asswipes that do the mass shootings, they aren't necessarily doing them for political aim, whatever. And what does that have to do with the NRA? We'll get there, I bet. It's important at some point. Whereas the United States Department of Justice further includes any individual or member of an any individual or member of an organization commits an act that the actor knows or reasonably should know affords material support, including communications, funds, weapons, training, to any individual who has committed or plans to commit a terrorist act. They would have to give an example of where the NRA did that with any of one of these people who are doing mass shootings. Whereas the National Rifle Association musters its considerable wealth and organizational strength to promote gun ownership. And here's the one this is the one where they get in trouble. Musters its considerable wealth and organizational strength to promote gun ownership and incite gun owners to acts of violence. Where exactly? Okay, that's where they're going to lose this lawsuit. Where did they incite gun owners to acts of violence? I see the citation needed there earlier. This one absolutely needs a citation. Whereas the National Rifle Association spreads propaganda that misinforms and aims to deceive the public about the dangers of gun violence. There's another one they're going to have to prove. What propaganda misinforms and aims to deceive the public about the danger of gun violence? Do you think that you have to show me when and where? I don't know when they've done that. Whereas the leadership of the National Rifle, this is great, where the leadership of the National Rifle Association promotes extremist positions. In defiance of the views of a majority of its membership and the public, and undermine the general welfare. That seems like pretty subjective. What? So I guess they'd have to give examples of extremist positions, whereas the National Rifle Association, through its advocacy, has armed those individuals who would and have committed acts of terrorism. Citation needed. Okay, show me one through its now. See, that doesn't make sense. Through its advocacy, has armed those individuals. Well, how through their advocacy would that happen? Did they demand that people get those weapons? Are any of these people who've done these so-called acts of terrorism, or the mass shootings? Some of them are terrorism, some are not. Some are just ass wipes. I'll just leave it at that. How many were inspired by the NRA? How many got firearms because of something the NRA said? This ain't gonna hold up in court. Whereas all countries have violent and hateful people, but only in America do we give them ready access to assault weapons and large capacity magazines, thanks in large part to the National Rifle Association's influence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the city and county of San Francisco intends to declare the National Rifle Association a domestic terror organization, and be it further resolved that the city and county of San Francisco should take every reasonable step to assess the financial and contractual relationships our vendors and contractors have with this domestic terrorist organization. Be it further resolved that the city and county of San Francisco should take every reasonable step to limit those entities who do business with the city and county of San Francisco from doing business with this domestic terrorist organization. And be it further resolved that the city and county of San Francisco should encourage all other jurisdictions, including other cities, states, and federal government, to adopt similar positions. This resolution was passed by the city county of San Francisco. Fascinating. In particular, the line that I think was going to get him in the most trouble is the National Rifle Association musters a considerable wealth and organizational strength to promote gun ownership and incite gun owners to acts of violence. So saying that the NRA is directly responsible for inciting, that's a slanderous term. In fact, I'm pretty sure that they still haven't had a single NRA member be a part of one of these, terrorist acts, so to speak. Are there National Rifle Association members who may have broken the law? It's possible. My guess is they're probably few and far between, though. There's going to be a high burden on that, I think. That's fascinating. Anyway, all right. So that's that. Now, I don't think that they're going to. City of San Francisco may have to pay up. I don't know what the National Rifle Association is doing there, but even in California, I think they have a good case. Let's see, a slander that's written, whatever. But yeah, the city. There's going to be that lawsuit. And it's a what is it? A formal resolution? No, it's actually it's not just a resolution. I guess it's a binding resolution. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Let me. I'm going to take a little break here, about 30-40 seconds, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Just had to go turn off an alarm that I set. That was, instead of being right next to me, it was in the other room. So, hey everybody, it's time for some Twitter trends. Let's see, what have I missed in the chat here? I know I've been kind of on a tangent here, but that's how it goes sometimes on the Morning Night Live. The citation needed. Yeah, there's a lot of citation needed in that resolution. Seamus Derby, these commies are going to incite the balkanization of the United States, and it won't end well for them. Yeah, holy smokes. I forgot to mute my music. Oh no, I didn't forget to mute my mic. I don't care if you hear me walking around. I had to run in the other room. I know it's noisy. Anyway, don't forget to wash your hands. I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I had to get my phone and turn the alarm off. It was bugging the hell out of me. All right, let's see what's happening on Twitter today, because there's always some fucketry going on Twitter. Oh, well, what happened there? Okay, oh my God, rather than go straight to the Twitter trends, I just want to see what's happening on the top of my Twitter. And the first thing I see on here is apparently Omegon has a gay cake and fish and chip. Wait, gay cake and fish and chip blindness? I don't know. Go check out Omegon's new video if you get to it. By the way, also thank you, Truck and Bear and Angel Tibbs. As well as what happened? It was there. I thought Sarah. Anyway, for those of you who retweeted the show, I appreciate that. Good for that. There was something else that I saw down here. Rising Sign Steeler fans. Okay, let's see. Birdie, China's economy isn't tanking, but it is almost certainly weaker than advertised. Some economists who have dissected China's GDP numbers say more accurate figures could be up to 3 points lower. High hopes will never make government run perfectly. Okay. What else is going on? Looks like Coverage has a new video out. 3 couples are suing the state of Virginia to overturn a law that requires marriage applicants to disclose their race in order to get a marriage license. That's fascinating. That's probably a very old law. Because they refuse to disclose their race. 3 couples are suing the state of Virginia to overturn a law that requires marriage applicants to disclose their race in order to get a marriage license. The requirement to identify race uses terms grounded in ignorance and bigotry, not in science. The couple's lawsuit says it reflects Virginia's historical repression of non-white persons. Okay, whatever. Maybe they'll dump that law. It's probably I'm guessing that's an old law. I'm shocked if they just put that into the whole, into the mix. Good for them, whatever. What else is going on here? Charles Murray. Tim Naftali reveals scientific illiteracy of a very high order. Steve Gould remark alone is sufficient to establish that. Moynihan's characterization of the state of knowledge at the time is precisely accurate. Not much has changed since. So, it's what Daniel Patrick Moynihan actually thought about race. Oh my gosh. I don't know. What else is going on here? Here's what it looks like when U.S. Air Force sent F-15s and F-35 fighter jets dropped 35,000 kilograms of bombs on a Daesh-infested island. Okay, this might actually be interesting. And let's do it without the music, though. Let's screen this up here. Okay, so this is what happens when they bomb the hell out of an island. Okay, holy shit. All right. I guess some people are mad about this. I don't know. Are they bombing strategic points, or who knows what they're doing? Are they destroying a road? Okay. All right. Well, there you go. What else is going on here? AFL-CIO tweets, what can a union do for you? Higher wages, company pension, paid leave, job security. With a union, you get more. Okay, whatever. Don't care. Is China starting to feel the pain from a trade war? So that's the article from National Review. That'd be interesting. All right, let's get into trends, though, because I know that's what we usually do, and I only have about 15 more minutes. So let's see what's happening in the world today. Number one trending on Twitter is World Suicide Prevention Day. Fascinating. I was watching. So there's a new Sinatra Says has a really good new video, and there's about a 7-minute section of Tucker Carlson talking about problems men are having, and 90% of something like 77% of suicides are men. Part of it's men are more successful at doing it because they do it in more permanent ways, where sometimes women don't do it the same way. But anyway, people from around the world are sharing their personal messages on World Suicide Prevention Day. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. There's always someone willing to help, and tomorrow can be another day. If you are struggling, let someone know or call 800-273-8255. I don't have a lot to say about that. If people need help, and sometimes they're afraid to ask. If you see someone who has just maybe signs that something's not going right in their life, it's always, good to try and talk to people and help them. Let's see. Here's a thread on this. I know the awful feeling of losing someone to suicide firsthand. In high school, our friend Brad talked about killing himself. We talked to our teachers, and even though he didn't go to our school and they called his parents, we tried to help. But 6 months later, he went through with it. The most awful thing I've ever attended was his funeral. A family distraught over losing someone so young. So this is pecking away, globalism pecking away, the Illuminati pecking away. That's got to be an Illuminati triangle there. Second Amendment being eaten by the worm of Democrats. Fourth Amendment. It says the Fourth Amendment's already been destroyed. It says down here, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Thomas Jefferson. Okay, so, that's something to think about. Let's see. And apparently the media's Trump fixation hurts Democrats. Only so much coverage to go around, and it has not gone to the Dems. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. What's that saying? You can talk positively about me or negative about me as long as you're talking about me. And you know what? Trump gets that. He will steal the conversation from anything. I mean, it doesn't matter. We had a hurricane go through. And what did CNN spend 3 days talking about? Donald Trump and that stupid map. And it's funny because he tweeted out that cat video. The cat chasing the light video, just hilarious. He is the master of media manipulation, but they make it so easy for him. Every day we find something on Twitter trending that has something to do with Trump. Again, talk good about me, talk bad about me. As long as you're talking about me. It's fascinating. So this is apparently a Washington Times story. Media's Trump fixation hurts Democrats. Broadcast news has supplied nonstop negative coverage of President Trump since his campaign days. The coverage has been on average 90% negative, according to a series of studies by Media Research Center. There's also some unexpected collateral damage, though. Democratic presidential hopefuls are paying a price for this obsession. Networks' fixation on Trump is leaving comparatively little airtime for his would-be challengers, the conservative press watchdog says in a new analysis released on Monday. From June 1st to August 31st, analysts found that the networks devoted 838 minutes of airtime nearly 14 hours to coverage of President Trump's personally, the vast majority of which was negative, writes Rich Snows, who led the study. The airtime devoted to Trump was 11 times greater than spent on the leading Democratic candidate, former President Joe Biden, on just under 74 minutes, and vastly more than the networks gave California Senator Kamala Harris 30 minutes, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg 15 minutes, or Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren just 14 minutes. I mean, that's so 838 minutes of airtime. You're hearing Trump's name. 74 minutes Joe Biden, 30 minutes Kamala Harris, 15 minutes Pete Buttigieg, 14 minutes Elizabeth Warren. Overall, 21 Democratic candidates, including some who have been since departed the race, shared 187 minutes to Trump's 838. Enough said. It's great. On the GOP side, Congressman Joe Walsh, 35 seconds. William Weld, they haven't talked about. Apparently, the former governor of South Carolina is also going to put his hat in the race. But yeah, they just the media, free media he gets is astounding, and they just don't fucking get it. It's funny. All right, so that's what am I doing? Oh, Tuesday thoughts, and then last Tuesday thought is just enjoy this beautiful day, everyone. Oh, look at that! There's a little squirrel looking at the flower. Is it a chipmunk or a squirrel? I can't tell. It's a baby squirrel, maybe. And then it goes to this. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, all right. Moving on from Tuesday thoughts. Number 6 trending. Oh, iPhone 11's trending. Oh God, are we gonna get another iPhone? Okay. I guess Apple's gonna make another, $3 or $4 billion because they're putting out a new iPhone. Oh, what you design after watching too much Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is funny. So people are making fun of the new iPhone with new iPhone 11 be like cameras everywhere. I wonder if they could give them to point a lot of different places. So apparently, Android versus iPhone 11 wars. Nobody. Intel users. Okay. So the new iPhones are going to have 3. I don't understand why. No offense, but these motherfuckers are ugly. Who slays with 3 eyes? Retweet iPhone retweet for iPhone 11 like for coconut. I still think the 3-eyed raven in Game of Thrones is your best bet. Why? Okay. All right, so that's your iPhone 11 coming out soon. That's why it's trending, because people think it's crazy. Tuesday motivation number 5. Robert Frank, photographer Robert Frank, has died at age 94. I think there's maybe they'll have some. Born in Switzerland, he became an icon in the U.S., a true inspiration for generations of photographers. That's a pretty cool shot. Rest in peace, Robert Frank. Moving on. Tuesday morning training number 7 will Bill Burr. Bill Burr's got a new Netflix special, and guess what I'm going to be watching tonight? I think Bill Burr is freaking hilarious. And he's kind of... I wonder if he's going to be more politically correct than Dave Chappelle. I'm fired up. I like Bill Burr. Let's see what's people saying. Bill Burr's latest Netflix comedy special is already getting rave reviews. Bill Burr brings the laughs. Okay, it's Crowder. Oh, okay. Watch Bill Burr's. Here's Steven Crowder saying, watch Bill Burr's latest Bill Burr Netflix special. Wow, angry feminist reviews incoming in 3, 2. Interesting. Joe Rogan just uploaded his 1348th podcast, which just happens to be with Bill Burr. So there you go. The good thing about the Bill Burr special is that he was never in Half-Baked, so there's no pressure to pretend it's funny. Oh, interesting. Thank you Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, and Netflix. 2 specials in 2 weeks give me hope for our country that people still have a sense of humor. I'm waiting for the actual reviews. Let's see if we can find what's this called? Paper Tiger. Let's see if there's any Rotten Tomatoes for that one yet. Paper Tiger. Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes says, because Rotten Tomatoes was not good to Dave Chappelle until the audience score came up. Here we go. Rotten Tomatoes. Looks okay. Let's see. Looks like there's nothing. I can't wait till we see this one. I'm going to watch it before I even see any reviews on it, but good. I like Bill Burr. Go see Bill Burr's Paper Tiger if you have Netflix. Alrighty, Black Rod. is trending number 9. No, it's not a porn film. Bizarre scenes from UK Parliament as it's suspended through Black Rod. What the hell does that mean? Okay, as Parliament was suspended until mid-October, the prorogation process took place, with John Bercow following Black Rod to the House of Lords. The ceremony was interrupted with some MPs protesting by singing and holding up signs saying "silenced." Oh, is that a process? The Black Rod? The Black Rod that is not a porn film? Okay, here it is. Who is Black Rod? Black Rod is a senior officer in the House of Lords, responsible for controlling access to and maintaining order within the House and its precinct. Sarah Clark was appointed as the new Black Rod on 17 November 2017. She formally took on the duties as Lady Usher of the Black Rod in February 2018. And here it says, brutal atmosphere in the Commoners as Black Rod arrives in the chamber to request the Speaker to attend the Lords for prorogation, and the MPs protest, screaming and shouting on all sides, showing the mess this Parliament has become in the toxic whirlpool of Brexit. Well, let me give you my 2 cents on the toxic whirlpool of Brexit. They voted on it in a fair election and voted for Brexit, so get the fuck out. Right? Just get the fuck out. Figure it out. They're worried about all their trading with the rest of the European Union, which I got a feeling that, you know what? Great Britain was independent. Well, independent. Great Britain used to be the greatest empire in the world. Now you can always have the arguments about colonialism and all that shit. But still, do you think, really, if they decide to leave the European Union, that the world will end in Great Britain? Do you? Do you think that the United States will still trade with Great Britain? Do you think Australia will still trade with Great Britain? Do you think countries in Africa will still trade with Great Britain? Do you think countries in the European Union will still trade with Great Britain? Do you think countries in Asia will still trade with Great Britain? Do ya? I do. Yes, there may be some pain. Yes, there may be new rules for passports and no. Does it make sense for Great Britain to be autonomous and not have people in Brussels deciding what they do in Great Britain? Now, granted, I'm not thrilled with the whole free speech thing going on over there, because they've got some. I wouldn't want to live there, because I prefer what we have here as far as being able to express yourself without the threat of going to jail for making a joke against your, making fun of your girlfriend by teaching her daughter to do stupid tricks. But the toxic whirlpool of Brexit. Well, who's making the whirlpool of Brexit toxic? The Remainers, who are fighting the democratic process. Just saying. Anyway, so that's what Black Rod means. No, it's not a porn title. All right, moving on. Here, I'm going to change this up a little bit. Ms. Monopoly. Oh my God, have you seen this? Hasbro launches a new version of Monopoly in celebration of female game changers. Now, it's funny how generous this title is. In celebration of female game changers. It's a fun new take on the game that creates a world where women have an advantage often enjoyed by men. Hasbro explained the concept behind the new version of the game called Ms. Monopoly. Okay. Ms. Monopoly, if you haven't heard about this, is, how do you say it? It's a gender wage gap game where they give, if you're female and you're playing the game Monopoly, you get more money for everything you do. And then now the one cool thing about it that I have no problem with whatsoever is rather than buying like properties and hotels or whatever, it has accomplishments by women as the game spaces. So you're buying these inventions or accomplishments by women. That's cool. You know what? I think people should be able. That's great. A great conversation. And so it can, teach you history in a different way. They're making all different kinds of Monopoly games based on different countries or different themes, so that you're being taught history. And I think that's awesome. I think fine, girl power. Bring it to your Girl Scouts troop, or your scout troop that has girls and some boys or whatever. Or teach boys too. Boys need to know that women can do things and not see them in a different light. But they added this element, this wage gap element, which is, oh man, let's see. Here's the Apple News article. It's Girl Power. Hasbro brings gender pay gap debate to game night with new Ms. Monopoly. Addressing the gender pay gap comes down to changing the rules of the game, and that's exactly what Ms. Monopoly brings to the table. Hasbro is launching a new version of the iconic board game that celebrates female trailblazers and is the first where women make more than men. Okay, let me ask you something. Let's think of all the board games you've ever played, all the games you ever played that, name a game where men make more in the game for being men. In the game that you're playing. Here's how it works. The new game, which includes several modern updates, including ride shares instead of railroads and Wi-Fi instead of waterworks, goes on sale this month at major national retailers. Suggested price $19.99. The game is available for pre-order at Walmart. Jen Boswinkel, Senior Director for Global Brand Strategy and Marketing for Hasbro Gaming, said the game is designed for today's kids and highlights a subject they may not know about yet. With all the things surrounding female empowerment, it felt right to bring this Monopoly a fresh new... Okay, they're not telling you shit. They're lying. They're So in their article, they really don't tell you, but then you come down here. Let's see. The debate over the equal pay starts before shuffling the cards, choosing a token, and rolling the dice. The banker doles out $1,900 in Monopoly money for each female player, and $1,500 to each male. The gap continues every time a player passes go, with women collecting $240 to men $200. Instead of investing in real estate properties like the classic game, the players invest in inventions and innovations made by women, including chocolate chip cookies, bulletproof vests, solar heating, and ladies' modern shapewear. Wow, that's patriarchy right there. They invented ladies' modern shapewear so they can be more shapely to look good for men? Patriarchy? They can't even get patriarchy out of a Ms. Monopoly game. Just saying. We've made sure that this felt authentic and was a fun game families could play and learn about these things that they love and are a part of their life. that they didn't know were invented by women. Really? Bulletproof vests were invented by women? I wonder, sewing metal plates and yeah, maybe. I did not know solar heating was invented by women. I'm sorry. Maybe it was. Who knows? I would love to learn about that. That's great to learn about inventions by women. That's the best part of the game. But... oh, and let's see. The new tokens: white hat, a watch, a barbell, a glass, and a jet plane. Okay, whatever. But the so you're gonna make a game where there's a wage gap in the game. It seems silly. It's not only seems silly, it is silly because it's whatever. We can talk about the wage gap for hours and we're gonna get nowhere. Anyway, I found it humorous. You know what's gonna happen though? The guys are still gonna win. Oh, that's mean. Okay, yeah, Ms. Monopoly trending. Oh my God. Let's see. Does anyone think this is great? Oh, I really love the concept of Ms. Monopoly. It's really a breath of fresh air in the board games world. No, it's not. It's a pile of crap. Except for, I love the idea of if you want to put a list of inventions by women, that's cool. I really do think that's cool. Just something you wouldn't know about if you didn't play the game. But yes, here's the other thing though. So you're gonna give women a fake advantage? Isn't that sexist? Isn't that sexist telling women, well, you need a leg up because you're not as good at this stuff? And here's someone who's saying that. As a woman, I find Ms. Monopoly sexist. Equality doesn't mean women make more than men. Epic fail. Way to go, Hasbro. Woohoo! Good. There you go. Ms. Monopoly. Did Monopoly ever have to do with men making more money than women? Because I don't ever remember that being the reason for the game or a point of view on it. Exactly. It's a game. Name a game where you get different advantages because of your sex. It's a game, you morons. Maybe Ms. Monopoly should say that everyone be paid the same, which they kind of are, really, if you really understand how people are paid in the world and what this stupid fake ass wage gap argument is. Here, C. Thomas, thank you for the $2 super chat. What annoys me about these girl power games is that these games keep projecting outright lies and narratives onto boys and then demand we treat the womans as if they are all superior spiritual beings who need worship or catering to. Hashtag cancer. Yeah, it's funny. It always seems like, and this is the difference kind of between conservatives and liberals. And I'm using the terms loosely, just to be honest. So, I truly believe. I heard someone else say the same thing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you and I have the same mind." The liberals who think that you have to give people a leg up, and you have to give them more, and you have to help them more, and whatever, aren't they the most sexist and the most racist? If you think that because I'm black, I need your helping hand, that I can't do it on my own, if the tools are there and I choose to use the tools, isn't it sexist to say, okay, well, we got to give women a few extra points or a few extra dollars in this game because the women can't do it on their own? It's a thought process that is just nonsense. Why is there a Ms. Monopoly when Monopoly is just Monopoly and not Mr. Monopoly? Right. Now the only thing about this game that like I said, the part I like about this, if you want to make, because there's all sorts of boutique Monopoly games, okay, with different things. There's even the one that was funny. What was the other one? One came out. There was a Millennial Monopoly. Oh, and there was like Socialist Monopoly, which yeah, that was funny. That came out a few weeks ago. But the thing I do like about it, if you want to have a niche Monopoly game that is showing the accomplishments of women, or I mean, it's silly. Black Monopoly, you have the accomplishments of black people. I don't care. That's cool because you're teaching somebody something different. You're learning something different. Oh, C. Thomas, thank you for so much again for being here, and thank you for the super chats. Great incentive for me to do this. I love what I do. I'll do it anyway. But man, I'm so appreciated when you do the super chats. It helps me out immensely. I've had a couple months where it actually paid for my internet bill, and that's fantastic. It helps me to continue. And also, a lot of you who helped me out when we got stuff stolen in San Francisco, I was able to replace some of my things that I used to do this kind of a broadcast. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great day, C. Thomas. So anyway, and let's see, when I was learning to play golf, my dad made me play on the men's tees. He said it would make me a better woman golfer, and that the men would take me more seriously. Now, interesting, in golf, yes, there are handicaps to help people even out the in golf. They have handicaps so that people of different skill levels can still compete against each other and have fun playing the game. If you're in championship golf, clearly you don't use handicaps in championship golf. But so I understand that, like, if you're going to have something to even out a playing field so that it makes the game more even. But even then, my daughter and I, when we would go out and golf, she'd always want to play for the same tees because she just thought, you know what, I just want to learn to get better. So yeah, I hear you there. So anyway, oh my God, this Ms. Monopoly thing. I don't know if that's going to move up in the trends because it was out there mostly yesterday, but apparently people are just discovering it now. Paul Menard, I don't know his trending. I don't know who that is. Paul Menard will retire from full-time Cup Series racing. I think he's a Formula One driver, is he? Or is he NASCAR? Oh, he's a NASCAR driver. He's retiring from NASCAR, okay. And Matt Benedetto will replace him at the end of the season in the whatever that team is. I don't follow that a whole lot. Matty D is trending number 12. Who's Matty D? Oh, he's the guy who's replacing Paul Menard, so he's trending right behind him. Former Gators and Raiders linebacker Niren Ball has died. Ooh. We are deeply sad to announce the passing of Niren Ball on September 9th, 2019. I wonder what happened. Let's see. The Ball family is forever grateful for the prayers, donations, and immense support of Niren and his recovery. Niren was a very special, loving father, brother, and teammate. Niren has transitioned to a place of peace. I don't know the whole story. I might look that up later today, but rest in peace, Niren Ball. Wood Brothers trending number 14. That's Wood Brothers team. That's that same racing story. And finally, the bottom of my trend stops at 15 today. Where all my money goes. Hey, here's the thing. So, let me click this and see what people say. Where all my money goes. Mostly boner pills, according to Dan Rainey. Great, Dan. Ooh, yes. I don't even want to get there. No idea. Ask my wife. Yep, just like in the Jetsons. There you go. Where all my money goes? Right to my feet. Okay, this gal's into shoes. Golden Girls Betty White stuff. I don't even know what that means. If you figure it out, DM me. That's a good answer. Where? Oh, that's the different one. Wait a minute. What? How did this switch to why I'm puzzling? Where all my money goes? My fucking swear jar. Yeah, I gave up on the swear jar. Dog food, because she has a big ass dog. Look at that. Oh, 2 big ass dogs. Yeah, a lot of my money goes to dog food too, but my dogs aren't that big. Well, whatever. All right. Where all my money goes? Girlfriend? No girlfriend. Sorry, I better not say that out loud. because there are, yes. All right. Well, let's talk about where P-Dog's money goes, or where it's not going to go anymore. And this is going to be how I end the show today. So, as you know, I have 2 kids. A daughter who's 24. She'll be 25 in November. And I have a son who's 22 who will be 23 in roughly 26 days. Both have finished college. Both are working. My son just bought a car. And you know what that means. My insurance rates for auto insurance, even though my daughter's car is still in our name, so we pay insurance for her. But my son, who's 22 years old, I'm going to repeat this. My son just bought a car himself with his own down payment and his own payment. And his own insurance. I'm so excited. I just did the old to my insurance agent and said, hey, the boy got his own car and he's getting his own insurance effective 5 days. Can you please let me know how much my rate is going to go down? And let me know before I make my next payment. I'm so excited. I got a feeling it's going to have my half. You know how expensive to insure full coverage on a 22-year-old kid? Although it wasn't full coverage on his. It was just liability because he had my old truck. And I had 2 old trucks. I'm driving my third F-150 right now, and the 2 of them were just really old. One of them had 287,000 miles on it, and the other one had 300,000 miles on it, and it decided it didn't want to work anymore. And I've kept them up until now, but I got rid of them both yesterday. I'm so happy. Took the insurance off the third and fourth. Well, I didn't have the insurance on one of them anyway because it was just sitting in the driveway. But I got rid of that. I got rid of the one my son was driving. I'm dumping the insurance. I'm so excited. I'm gonna guess one 22-year-old kid being removed from my insurance is going to cut my insurance in half. And I have the other 3 cars all have full coverage. The old truck didn't. It just had liability for my son. This will be interesting. I will, as soon as I find out, I will let you know. And on that note, thank you everybody for being here today at the Morning Night Live. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. And for those people who use GMT in other parts of the world that figure out what we're doing in America, the United States, that is. And I'm so glad you were here today. If you're watching this after fact, right down here, that share arrow, hit the share button. Also, if you haven't already, well, it looks like everyone hit the like button for the most part. If you haven't done that already, hit the like on the way out. If you like what we do, please support the channel if you can. Also, we do super chats and donations in the Streamlab links down below for future reference, or if you're just feeling generous and throw in a shilling or 2. So we'll appreciate that. So much appreciate y'all being here and coming every day. I'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same dog channel. I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Oh, wrong button. Let's try this one. How about the outro? Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.